Hey folks, Robbie Payne with Chrome Unboxed, and today we're going to take a little bit deeper look at the Google Home Max. And I'm not calling this a review because we review Chromebooks and we talk about specs and functionality and all that kind of stuff, and that really just doesn't apply to a smart speaker. So this device doesn't really do much more than its other counterparts, the Google Home Mini and the standard Google Home. But it does one thing that's much better, and that's the way it sounds. Now, if you're in the market for a speaker that sounds great and can fill very large rooms, this might be the device for you. But if you're just looking for a smart speaker to do functionality stuff, you're looking for it to set reminders and timers and that kind of thing, you might want to kind of stick around to the end of this thing and decide whether or not $400 is realistic for you to spend. But let's talk about sound, because that's probably the most important thing here. This device sounds incredible. I mean, I don't know that I've had any other speakers around me that sound quite as good. Now, Google has colored the tonality of this device, so it's not just a standard speaker. It wouldn't stand in for like a studio speaker. It's not completely flat. You can tell the bass is enhanced a little bit and the highs are enhanced a little bit, but I really don't care. It sounds freaking amazing. And matter of fact, let's take a break real quick and we'll actually get an audio sample. So as you can tell, it sounds amazing. I mean, it is a great speaker. And again, I can't put it up against the HomePod. I don't have a HomePod to put here. And there's some reviewers that would say it sounds better than the HomePod, and some that say that the HomePod sounds better. I'm really not here to debate that. And I don't think that in your purchasing decision, you even need to be thinking about that. And I'll get into that here in just a second as to why. Suffice to say, it sounds amazing, and it's going to fill just about any room. The biggest room I've put it in is probably a 25 by 25 space in our office, and it fills it up at maybe a quarter of the volume. We pushed it to 100%, and it doesn't distort. It just keeps getting louder, and the bass keeps getting fuller, and the highs keep getting crisper. So if you're looking to fill a massive space with sound, the Google Home Max is for you. If we start talking about functionality, there's really not much that differentiates this from the standard Google Home and the Google Home Mini. There's some touch controls on the top. You can slide left and right in order to turn the volume up and down if you want to actually physically interact with the device. In the center of that bar, you can play pause, and then you can talk to it. That's basically it. It does a couple other cool tricks. You turn it upside down, it'll tell you, Google Home is upside down, please turn it back over. So it's got a gyroscope in it, and there's a reason for that. There's a silicon pad that magnetically hooks itself to the bottom and or the side of the device. And so you can actually tilt it up on one end, pair a second one into a audio group in Google Home, and you can then create a left and right separation with the two if you wanted to hook it up to, say, a mixing table or something like that. I can't imagine how loud it would be with two of these things in one room, let alone just one of them. So I'm sure there are people that would want to use it that way and drop the coin to be able to do that. But honestly, one is plenty. And when it's in its standard layout, when it's left and right kind of set this way in its landscape form, it already does stereo separation. So inside you're getting two tweeters and two woofers, and they just do the job incredibly well. But other than that, there's really not a ton of functionality going on here. There's some ports along the back as well, USB-C that you can charge a thing like a phone or a Pixelbook or something like that if you choose to. And then there's an auxiliary port on the back that you can actually plug something in. So again, I mentioned a turntable earlier. So say you have a turntable or something like it, or you want to hook your phone in and just play music directly from that. If you're not on Wi-Fi, for instance, then you have the choice to do that as well. But again, we're not really talking about a ton of functionality here. We're talking about a smart speaker with Google Assistant that sounds amazing. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. And so really we have to look at price when it comes to this thing, because there's other ones in its family. So we have the Google Home, which can be found anywhere from $100 to $129. And then you've got the Mini that goes on sale sometimes. It can be as cheap as 29 bucks. And so again, if you're looking for something that's going to set reminders and timers and do all the cool stuff that Google Assistant can do in a smart speaker, the Google Home Mini actually does all of this really well. If you're looking for something to give you ambient, small sound, the Google Home Mini does that well too. Now, if you're looking for something that you know, might give you some decent room filling sound and have a little more richness to it. The standard Google Home does a great job with that. It's got all the touch controls on the top, just as this one does. But if you're looking for something that has premium sound, and you're not just looking to buy a smart speaker, you're looking to buy a piece for your home that's actually going to provide really, really great audio, then the Google Home Max might be for you. I haven't seen it on sale yet, so it's usually going to be $399. So you really got to think, do I want to spend this much money on a speaker? I can't answer that for you. I can tell you that for me personally, I'm not there yet. Now, I have a Bose home theater system at home that we cast music to our TV, and it plays on there just fine, and it sounds amazing. So I don't have as much need for it, and our home is a 2-story, so each level isn't that huge. So when I did take the Google Home Max home, the kids loved it and they loved playing with it and they loved hearing how loud it got and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, when I thought about, like, would I use this thing at home? For me, it was just a no. I can't. My home's just not big enough. But the office has been plenty big enough. And there have been multiple times where we maybe had some get-togethers or had a few people in the office at one time and we needed some music. And you can put this thing on at medium to low volumes and the bass stays around and the highs stay around. And it just provides room-filling sound at any volume. And so you got to think through what you're going to use this thing for. And if you don't have a premium home speaker and you want something that provides just great and awesome audio, then yeah, think about this, because other speakers that sound as good as this are going to cost at least this or more, and then you get Google Assistant thrown in. So this isn't going to be for everybody. I completely understand that. But if it might be for you and you haven't had a chance to listen to one, you haven't had a chance to mess around with one, you're not missing much as far as functionality goes. There's not going to be much to do whenever you get in front of it, except turn on some music, sit back and listen. And if that's what you're after, $399 is a lot for a speaker. It's a lot for a smart speaker. But if you're in that market and you're looking for awesome sound, this thing delivers. So I hope I've helped you make a little bit of a purchasing decision here. I know I'm saying that maybe it's not for me, and it's not because it's bad. It's just because for me, for my house, for the things that I do, it's just not a good fit. But I think for a lot of you, it could be. And if it's not, hey, check out the standard Google Home or the Google Home Mini, or have a few of each. Who knows? Whatever fits you best, hopefully it will help you out. Guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and until next time, we'll see you.